So, The Mandalorian and Grogu has dropped for a couple of reviewers out there, and the initial reviews are just kind of meh, very mixed, but more so leaning towards meh, that kind of bad area. With the main consensus of the reviews that I'm able to collect being that it just feels like a movie that was supposed to be released directly to TV, not necessarily for theaters. But for some people, they did say that it was good to see Star Wars on the big screen again in theaters. And I kind of felt this was going to happen with Mandalorian. I mean, The Mandalorian Season 1 and Mandalorian Season 2, as you guys know, if you've been watching my channel for a while, I genuinely enjoyed those seasons, but Mandalorian Season 3 was just a complete and total miss to me. Mainly because the focus shifted from Mando and Grogu and kind of shifted more towards Bo-Katan, and I didn't really necessarily resonate with that. I didn't like that at all. I feel as though if you're going to give Bo-Katan all this screen time, you do it in her own show. And also, too, I feel as though the plot was completely lost when Grogu decided to return to the Mandalorian instead of staying in training with Luke Skywalker. It was definitely a miss for me. Personally, I just felt as though the story would have been so much better and the overall arcing story of Star Wars would have been so much better if he would have just stayed and trained with Luke. But since Grogu is so cute, I mean, obviously, he was going to be a smashing hit amongst the GA audience, and this is the best way for them to be able to sell merch. I mean, it all comes down to business with this decision to keep Grogu with Mando instead of him being with Luke Skywalker. And you got to think that Mandalorian and Grogu is essentially Space Dad and Space Son. I mean, and with Disney's direction always being faced towards families, that's what Disney wants to sell, is more family pack deals, stuff like that. You know, you go to the parks, you see a bunch of dads with their sons, you see dads with their families. That's what Disney is essentially aiming for all the time. And I'm sure there's many major Star Wars fans out here who have shown their sons or kids Grogu, and they love Grogu. It's just, he's a big attraction for the kids. So at one point I understand, but on the other, I completely disagree with keeping Mandalorian and Grogu together. He should be training with Luke Skywalker. I feel that would have made a better story. But anyway, I digress. So let's actually get back to the reviews. So in terms of Mandalorian and Grogu, I personally, me just speaking from my personal experience, I was never really excited for this movie. And I honestly tried to be. I mean, I went back and I watched Mandalorian Season 1 and I watched Mandalorian Season 2. And I just didn't really get excited like I once was for The Mandalorian and Grogu. I'm still going to go and see the movie. I'm not sure if I'm going to see it day one, but eventually I will have this movie out and I will have a review for you guys. I will always give it a fair shake. I truly do hope I enjoy this movie when it does drop or when I do actually get the chance to go and see it. But I'm definitely just not as excited as I was for something along the lines of Maul Shadow Lord. Maul Shadow Lord, I was extremely excited for that show to drop. Just from the trailers alone, it felt different, and it was. The entire show was a completely different experience that we've gotten from Star Wars in quite some time. Now, overall, I do try to come into Star Wars from a neutral point when it comes to Star Wars. Although I'm a major fan of Star Wars, I do try to come in from a neutral point so I can kind of give my true perspective and true feelings towards it. But since it's out now and there's reviews coming in, and I did see a few reviews that weren't necessarily shilling towards it and just giving it glowing reviews like how usually what happens, it definitely piqued my interest a little bit, and I wanted to get into the nitty gritty of what's going on with Mandalorian and Grogu, but obviously I won't find out until I actually see it for myself. Hopefully it is good. I don't want any Star Wars projects to be bad because I genuinely do like Star Wars, and I like, from Maul Shadow Lord, I've gotten so many lore pieces and so many things out of that series that I've been making videos on it constantly, and that's what I like about being a Star Wars content creator, although I'm extremely small. I like to actually be excited about a project, but anyway, hopefully I do enjoy this movie when it comes out. Hopefully the reviews aren't necessarily as bad as what they seem. But anyway, let me know your guys' thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. May the force be with you guys, and as always, have a great rest of your day.